Good afternoon, it's Brett and Coach here, and I am not in Chicago today. I am actually in Milwaukee for a little weekend adventure. So why don't you join me as I explore Milwaukee, visit the public market, the historic 3rd Ward, check out the hotel, and then explore the nightlife later on in the day. Brian and I didn't actually drive up to Milwaukee. As the name Brett and Coach, we actually jumped on the Amtrak train, the Borealis line, from Chicago here to Milwaukee, which was a quick 2-hour trip. But now let's actually start exploring Milwaukee. Even though I've been here a couple times, it's always fun to visit once in a while. I usually visit about twice a year just because it's a nice little escape, and it's kind of a smaller version of Chicago as well. And there's a lot to do, especially for breweries, which that's something he definitely enjoys. But before we dive into too much craft beer, let's check out the Milwaukee Public Market. So let's head inside. And it's a collection of a bunch of different small businesses, restaurants, and cafes working together to foster a sense of community and to support local businesses and organizations through a bunch of different initiatives. And I'd recommend it for all of your wine and cheese needs, as well as any fish or other meat, because they have a couple butchers as well. Just taking the time to browse all of the wares, including all of the fresh produce. And if fresh fruits and veggies aren't quite your vibe, don't worry, they have plenty of different sweets for any sweet tooth, which was probably the most tempting thing in here. The main shopping floor can get pretty crowded, so that's why Brian and I headed upstairs to get a view of the whole market as well as people watch. Upstairs feels vastly different than the hustle and bustle down below. But as we head outside of Milwaukee's public market, we were greeted by this furry friend. I guess only in Milwaukee you see a dog riding a motorcycle. So we didn't buy anything in the public market, but we may swing by later when we're heading back to the hotel just to grab a couple 4-packs of some interesting local Milwaukee beer. Wait, so I came all this way just for Chicago Street? Feel like I could have saved a 2-hour train ride to do that. So Brian and I were just comparing Milwaukee to Chicago. When it comes to the 3rd Ward, it's almost the same feeling as Streeterville, Lincoln Park, or even West Loop areas for the general vibes. And next we stopped in Wicked Alley, which I would definitely recommend if you're interested in any weird vintage pieces, art, records, or anything like that. And it supports a small business, of course. I did buy something from Wicked Alley. I will show you when I get into the hotel, but I definitely do think it shows off my personality and my sense of humor for sure. Literally Googled what to do in downtown Milwaukee and this bookstore popped up. So let's walk in and see what they have. I think they have books here. Well, that was insightful to say the least, but yes, plenty of books in all different genres for sure. And for the atmosphere of the store, I'll just say, good vibes. But the shelves of books seems to be never ending, just getting higher and longer for corridors, and it kind of spun and raveled in on itself, creating very much a maze, with very thin walkways filled with books. The vibes in the bookstore, immaculate. I could have wandered around there for 4 hours, not looked or actually picked up at anything, just existed. Unfortunately, wasn't in the market for actually buying a book today, since I have many on my shelf that are on my to-be-read list, but that bookstore was set up like a maze in the best way possible. Brian and I decided to visit Explorium Brew Pub for a late lunch, early dinner, took a seat at our table and looked over the beer list and decided on 3 sours. They easily have 25 of their own beers as well as a full bar. First up is their Blueberry Cheesecake Sour, which was a pleasant surprise, and then another sour called Altreja. And lastly, to round out my flight of 3 sours, is Tiki Tart. The Blueberry Cheesecake is the winner for me. Nice little spot for some dinner and drinks. I opted for the TNT burger, which it claimed it was going to be spicy, wasn't too spicy, which I'm happy about, and Brian got the chicken pasta. I think we win versus the food this time. No complaints, and they had a huge beer list that they made in-house. It was probably a good 25, I would say, and they had a very extensive spirits list, which one single shot of the most expensive thing was $325. It was some sort of high-end tequila. We then Googled the price, and at just a generic big liquor store, the bottle cost almost $900. For... Huh? I can't even wrap my mind around that. But we are headed back to the public market so Brian can pick up a couple of beers because he can't get those in Chicago. Decisions. But after Brian made his beer choices, we were walking to the hotel and saw Milwaukee's infamous ladybugs, as well as more of the city. And we made it to the hotel. Made it to the hotel room just fine. So you know what that means? It is now time for a room tour. And right from the door is the bathroom. Very well lit giant mirror. Very echoey in the bathroom. Nice art on the walls. Stand-up glass shower. Giant king-size bed. Let's try this bed out. A little firmer than I would have expected, but I think it'll still work for tonight. And multiple pillows. Pretty big TV with a coffee maker. Microwave. And a mini fridge that Brian put his beer in already. Ice. Plenty of drawers. I always check them to see if anything's in them. Another mirror. But let's look at this view. Nice little view of the river and the rest of the city. And similar to how we book tickets is that we usually go for coach. This is a pretty, I don't want to say budget hotel, but it's a very reasonably priced hotel. We did splurge slightly because we spent a couple extra more dollars to guarantee a higher floor, just because we wanted a little bit nicer of a view, just because we were here the one day and we figured, why not? I think the only price difference was like $5 to $7. So we figured it's one night, it's not gonna hurt. And with that, it's still a better deal than most of the hotels in the area. We are in the Drury Hotel, and with this hotel there is breakfast included, which always a great thing. We've stayed here before, but even better, they have a nightly kickback at 5:30 where they serve free dinner and you get 3 free drinks. Granted, they're fairly small and they aren't the most potent or strong drinks, but free drinks nonetheless, so definitely worthwhile stopping here. Good price, good room, a pool, hot tub, and drinks. Don't think you can really go wrong. But now it is time to show you the shirt I bought. So it is pyrokinesis for beginners with all of these people on fire down the arm. Really cool find, very happy with it, and it fits perfectly. Chilled in the room, took a shower, killed some time, but now it's time for our free drinks, so we'll head down to the lobby, get a little bit of bite to eat for free, and get this evening started. And with each night you stay, you get 3 drinks per day. Went for some mac and cheese and some pulled pork sandwiches. For free, I'll take it. For my first free drink, I went with a cherry vodka sour. Light, refreshing, easy. I'd recommend getting there early because the line is a bit of a pain point. And for my other drinks, I just got rum and cokes. Well, that was a hectic little bit of a kickback. I appreciated my 3 free drinks. The food, if it wasn't free, I would have been disappointed, maybe a 3 out of 10. It being free, I'd probably say 5 out of 10. Very much cafeteria vibes. Exiting the elevator, and our room is actually right across. So that's a nice little convenience. Now we're back in the room just like that. We're going to put on our coats and head on out. Was the kickback a nice little perk? Yes. Did I appreciate the little bit of alcohol that they gave out for free? Also yes. If I had to pay for anything, mildly upset. But I'm satisfied overall. You can feed me almost anything, and as long as it's edible, I'm not the person to complain. But other than that, I am actually going to wrap up this video here just because of how much I actually filmed. But don't worry, my next video will be going over the nightlife in Milwaukee, starting with Central Waters, as well as heading to Pilot Project for some brews, and then ending the night at This Is It, which is Milwaukee's oldest gay bar. So please hit the subscribe button if you aren't already to make sure you don't miss next video. And this has been Brent and Coach. Until next time, I will see you in Coach.